6 o'clock, we'll call this regular city council meeting of January 9th to order. Would you call the roll, please?
Hayes.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes. First item is the approval of the minutes of the December 12th regular session.
I move to approve the minutes of December 12th.
Second.
Hayes.
Yes.
Briggs.
Yes.
Shivers.
Yes.
Williams.
Abstain.
Miller.
Yes. First item under new business, bill number 2023-01, an ordinance of the city of Mexico, Missouri imposing an additional sales tax on all tangible personal property retail sales of adult use marijuana within the city in accordance with Article 14, Section 2, Subsection 6 for general revenue purposes, designating the form of ballot twice, and directing the city clerk to provide notice of said election. Two readings by title only and passage. Mr. Schlegel.
Yes, Your Honor. On November 8th of last year, the voters of the state of Missouri did approve Amendment 3, which was the legalization and the right to access medical marijuana. Marijuana still remains a Scheduled I controlled substance pursuant to the Controlled Substance Acts of the United States and remains illegal under federal law despite the passage of Amendment 3. However, marijuana remains a controlled substance under Missouri law except when it's strictly used pursuant to the provisions of Amendment 3, which allows all rules and regulations, and eventually we'll have additional rules by the Department of Health and Senior Services as well regarding this. But as a part of Amendment 3, through the constitutional change, it did authorize political subdivisions, city of, to impose an additional sales tax in the amount not to exceed 3% on all tangible personal property retail sales of adult use marijuana sold within the city limits. And the additional sales tax on the marijuana. This tax cannot become effective until approved by the voters of the city. To place this additional tax on marijuana, if we want to have it done by the April 4th or our next general municipal election, it's necessary to notify the election folks at the county by January 24th of 2023. And if the voters approve the additional 3%, it will be collected by the Department of Revenue, just like all of our other sales tax, and distributed back to us. The Municipal League, Missouri Municipal League, estimates that about $150,000 annually is what they believe will be the income from the 3% per comprehensive dispensary within a city limits. Now, realizing different dispensaries sell at different levels, they don't have that broke down. So if ours sells at the average, that's what it's going to be. If it's below that, it'll be less than that. If it's more than that, it'll be more than that. But that's what they're estimating. The attached ordinance calls for the election for the additional sales tax on adult use marijuana. Considering the rules and regulations and everything else that we have to deal with for the public safety, we're certainly, as a city, will have a lot more responsibility in dealing with this. So staff believes that it's important that we look at this, and that's why we brought this ordinance forward. And as council even suggested at the last meeting that we do bring this to your attention and bring this forward, we've done so. So the ordinance attached does allow for the 3%. It identifies the ballot and the notice. And we recommend you proceed with reading by two readings by title only and passage. And the ordinance has been posted as required length of time.
Do we know what the county is doing the same, or are they not allowed to? Or?
The county intends to also pursue it as far as that as well. As I understand it, therefore, be based on each jurisdiction, meaning they really don't have a store in the county at this point, because this one's in our limits. But more licenses could be approved, and you don't know where those are going to go. And so the county is also looking at putting it on the ballot on the same date as us. And I assume there will be other cities. I think the city of Vandalia is also considering on the April ballot as well.
And that would just be, when it says personal property, I just want to clarify, that has nothing to do with a person's personal property.
Right.
It is, because it's
It
kind of
has to
like...
all do with the marijuana use.
Okay.
Yeah,
So any personal property that has to do with...
with the marijuana. Yep, yep. The sales of that.
Okay.
Yep.
Could you be a little more specific about, as far as having this stuff in the city, now we've had at this dispensary, as far as extra cost to like public safety? Is there specifically, it's kind of what it might be costing Mexico?
I don't know that we can sit down and say, here's what the cost is going to be, but we as a staff did set through a training session, and the issue is it's going to be harder to identify certainly possession and what the levels are. Homegrown is also legal, but to a certain amount.
A little more police, public
right.
safety work.
So the violations of the amendment and the civil penalties, whether you're cultivating in public or smoking in public or minors in possession thereof, or the amount that you can have is all regulated. So then it comes down to, even thinking about driving impaired, and how do you test? And as we know at this point, at least from an alcohol point of view, you have a breathalyzer and those kinds of things. You don't have those kinds of machines yet, so that means we're going to have to transport somebody even to have them, blood alcohol testing and all those things. So what we know of those costs, Susan, Chief, we don't really know at this point. It's just, we just know it's going to be a lot more work and a lot harder.
Training for award, drug recognition experts, and that kind of thing too, which is very costly and time drawn out.
So regardless of what we do about the taxes, this is going to be legal anyway.
It's already legal.
I mean, it's legal anyway, but
Yep.
yeah, it's still with us,
Yep.
so.
Yeah, it's already passed. It's here.
Yeah, we're just trying to get our piece of the action.
Get our piece of
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already here.
In some ways, it's no different than taxing cigarettes or alcohol.
It's your all's pleasures.
I move for first reading of bill number 2023-01.
Second.
Kay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Sugar,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Yes.
Bill number 2023-01, an ordinance of the City of Mexico, Missouri, imposing an additional sales tax on all tangible personal property retail sales of adult use marijuana within the city in accordance with Article 14, Section 2, Subsection 6 for the general revenue purposes, designating the form of ballot, and they're directing the city clerk to provide notice of said election. I move for second reading of bill number 2023-01.
Second.
Kay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Sugar,
Yes.
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 Miller,
Bill number 2023-01, an ordinance of the City of Mexico, Missouri, imposing an additional sales tax on all tangible personal property, retail sales of adult use marijuana within the city in accordance with Article 14, Section 2, Subsection 6 for the general revenue purposes, designating the form of ballot, and directing the city clerk to provide notice of said election. I move for passage of bill number 2023-01.
Second.
Kay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Sugar,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes. New business resolutions, bill number 2023-02, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a hangar lease with Shannon Qualls. Mr. Slade.
Yes, Your Honor, this resolution does authorize that hangar lease to be signed between the parties. As you know, a list of interested persons to rent hangars is posted and at the airport and maintained in the city manager's office. And Hangar 9 has become available, and that Shannon Qualls was the next on the list and accepted that hangar. The lease would be in the term of 1 year, automatic renewable, and the hangar rent would be $80 a month. And therefore, we recommend proceeding with, by reading by title only and passage of the attached resolution.
I'll move for a reading of bill number 2023-02.
Second.
Kay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Sugar,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Yes.
Bill number 2023-02, a resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a hangar lease with Shannon Qualls. I move for passage of bill number 2023-02.
Second.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Sugar,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes. Next item is the payment of the claims.
Make a motion to pay the bills?
Second.
Hay,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Shivers,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes. Next item is council comments, and first with the council, we'll start with Mr. Hague.
I hope everybody had a good and restful holiday season. It's good to see everybody back, and I guess we had a lot of excitement with public safety and the fires, and I appreciate what they did. I know that when I heard about that and walked outside, that's not good. It was cold, so I appreciate those firemen being out there. And Roger and his staff, congratulations on another great financial report, and the 33rd year, the pressure's on. We got to get number 34, so I have no doubts. Always good. So that's all I have.
I'll start with, I wasn't here last time because it was the night of the Santa train. And so, of course, we were slammed. And I will say that I talked to a lot of people from out of town. They were very appreciative, said it was handled very well, and had nothing but good things to say about the city. So, appreciate, I know the public safety and the parks, I know all you guys worked on that. And people did notice because they said stuff to me while I was out there. So, appreciate that. Second, I'll mention the fires. I can't believe that all transpired in one night, and the amount of work and effort that you and your team put in, I mean, amazing. And the fact that, Little Dixie and the Audrey Ambulance District were right there to help, I mean, it makes you feel good that we were covered in our community. The take of the day. Next, I have a code question because, out at Optimus, out of the ballparks, we were told that we can't put up a sign by Fink's Fiber because it would be a permanent sign, okay? And they sent the codes they were referencing, but the codes they're referencing, none of our signs are legal. Banners out there wouldn't even be legal because they aren't. The only thing that temporary would be civic duty, something like that, not a business sign. And that's what we have out there. And so, I don't know, do we need to rezone to get to the commercial? What do we need to do to make this all legit? Because the only signs that you guys allow in the code is real estate and stuff like that. No signs for, we can't put a McDonald's sign somewhere unless it's at McDonald's, according to the code. But we have them out there, so.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I can answer that sitting here without looking at it, but we'd be glad, Rita's staff would be glad to sit down with you and/or whomever is managing that and see what can be done. Because I know that when you do ball programs and stuff, lots of times that advertising and those outfield signs and stuff are important.
They are,
For
yeah.
sponsorship, so
Yeah.
money. So, and lots of times those are treated differently, if you will, on the property like that than like a commercial advertisement type thing. So, yeah, I would recommend that you meet with Rita and her staff or whoever does and see how that works.
Okay. And then last, I'm going to talk about the hospital for a second. I was going to mention it last time is, it's unfortunate that the incident happened since the last meeting where the water broke off. But at what point do we cut the water? Because we're getting ready to raise sewage rates and all this stuff, and we're telling the citizens part of that is because of the hospital. There's nothing happening out there anymore. Somebody's paying the light bill because I can't believe Ameren's just eating thousands of dollars a month out there. So if they can pay the light bill, I think they can pay us. So what are we looking at there?
Yeah, as far as whether gas and lights and what's on and what's not on, yeah, you're right, that's Ameren. The water is Missouri American to make that decision. Our sewer bill is not being paid, but I understand none of them are, but I don't know what they've worked out. I don't think they've worked out anything. I think all of them at this point are recognizing if they shut it off, it could be more damage and worse to the community than leaving it on. And I know that it's bounced around even in the last 10 days, 2 weeks from what ownership to ownership. I don't think hardly anybody knows what's really going on because it's all private and we're not at the table.
Right.
It's a mess. And
I get that, but if it would have been We shut off people's water all the time for not paying the sewer.
We have a contract, we can turn that off because of the sewer.
And if it would have been off, I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage now because of the water.
Well,
And I mean,
yeah,
you
but
can
it
work
could
in
have caused
hindsight.
more
but-
damage,
Yeah.
because it's a boiler system. Where do you,
Right.
without it, they don't run any heat. Well, the machine, I
I understand.
I understand Missouri American's position. I mean, they're trying to work with them not to cause additional damage to the equipment and everything else, but you're right, at what point do they need to winterize, but who's responsible, who's in charge? That's the problem that we're dealing with.
Right, I don't think anybody's even taking care of the building as far as I know.
No.
It's just sitting there.
No.
So,
You read your email for today? You need to read it.
okay,
It's a mess.
all right. That's all I got. Thanks.
Mrs. Riggs?
Well, I hope everybody had a great holiday, and we were away from the minus 35 wind chill weather we were in DC, but we also missed the fire and the two fires. I did talk, and our public safety officer did talk to me last night when he brought the packet, or Friday night, and he said that it was something he would never forget. So, experience of a lifetime, but I hope we get our fire engines fixed, our fire trucks fixed quickly and get on with things. But appreciation to all those people.
Dr. Shears?
I guess the same thing. I think I called Chief Rocket after I heard about it, just to say, we definitely appreciate the hard work that public safety is doing. And we know in this day and time, sometimes public safety does not get kudos. And you definitely, you all definitely deserve that. And I just wanted to say that I was hoping that one of the students, I got the opportunity of speaking with the morning students at MEC. I'm going to see the older one, the other group, on the 23rd. And we were just talking about getting engaged with government, because a lot of them will be graduating and they'll be able to vote. And looking forward to trying to hopefully get them involved in the next municipal election that will be coming up. And it's good to see that we have a full slate for both school board and city council. I am going to miss it, though.
Mr. Slagle?
As council knows, and I think all the public knows at this point, but we are very happy not to be the owners of the AP Green property anymore.
Yes.
Have it sold and have recovered most or very close to all the public's money as far as paying everything off on it, and that's the most important, as well as making it available certainly for additional growth and business and employment opportunities. So we hope all of that comes to happen, and we wish the new owners well as they move forward with it.
Do we have any timeline on when they might start doing something? Have they said anything?
There's a lot of things that they'll have to deal with from, I know that they're looking into removing the buildings right now, as well as some site planning and platting and those kinds of things before they can certainly sell off lots. It has to be platted in order to be laid out by separate lots in order to do that. So they've got some legal work they've got to do first.
Okay. One thing I have to say is great job by our public safety department on the fire. I was there that night, the next morning, and what a mess. And so, good job. And again, as I think Mr. Williams said, it was good to see that Little Dixie supported us. It's the ambulance district was there, supported us. I think Red Cross was there providing coffee or food or something, breaks for the firemen, because definitely they need to get in and out every now and then, or they'd have froze to death standing there. So great job on the part of everybody in town.
Chris, we probably as a council ought to offer our condolences to the family whose family member was killed in that fire.
Marcy, could you send a condolence from the city council? At this time, we'll take public comments. If you'd like to make a comment, please come to the stand, state your name and address, and try to hold your comments to 3 minutes. Seeing nobody come forward, I move we adjourn.
Second.
Eddie?
Yes.
Ruth?
Yes.
Yes.